Oh boy. This is gonna be a long one. I can already feel it. Not for you guys, for me. This is personally gonna take me forever. Because as the title appears, I don't know about the thumbnail yet. I'm kind of iffy on that. But as the thumbnail shows, I'm gonna try to make a handmade crochet blanket in only 4.5 hours. But first, hi, my name is Jasmine. I run the Crochetery here on YouTube. And I have this video pulled up on my computer next to me by CJ Design here on YouTube, and the video is titled Crochet This Blanket in 4.5 Hours Beginner Friendly Pattern. Now, I'm curious if I can actually achieve a blanket in 4.5 hours, because that would be a steal. So I went into the description box, I read the materials that she needed. So first I need a pair of scissors, obviously, a tapestry needle, which mine are all put away in a jar right now, but I do have them on hand, just not for camera. A 12mm hook, which I did not have. I had to go and purchase this, but we have one now, which is kind of funny. Like, I've never used a 12mm hook before until trying her blanket challenge, which I did do previously for a different video of hers, not the same exact video, which I did fail. But I was newer to crochet at the time, so I'm thinking maybe with the right speed and knowledge I have now, I can get a little bit further in this and a little bit faster in this. So I'm not going to show you that blanket, but if you are curious about me trying that video out as well, I will do it, because it's a completely different blanket pattern, but it says you can make it within 6 hours, which I did not make at all. But I crochet a little bit faster now, I'm a little bit wiser, so maybe I can get this 4.5 hour blanket done. So the 12mm hook, which again I didn't have that on hand, and then she calls for 4 skeins of Burnett blanket, or category 6 super bulky yarn. So I went out and got it. I did buy these from a discount store, because I don't think a lot of people like the OGO stuff, so ignore the little orange tag. It's not supposed to be there. It's just because it was in a discount store. This is why it was in a discount store, and why I was holding it like this. This is the only tag, though, that like stayed remnant throughout the other ones. The other ones literally fell apart as I picked them up. So this is the Burnett Blanket OGO, and it is in the color violet. So how these work essentially is each one has like a little tiny, there you go, I don't know if you can see that, a little tiny piece in between. You can definitely see it there, and you kind of just like pop it, and then you have this now, a yarn U. Oh, this sounds so weird. You have a yarn U, and how you can now use this is you can basically take your yarn from this end, and it will slowly untangle and ravel into each color. Now, I do have each one, which is like this, which goes from the dark purple to the middle purple to the light purple, and each one's like that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to break them in sections and then use all of the dark purples, although I don't really want to do that because it's a lot of ends to weave in, but I think it would look the nicest. So this might not turn out the most cutest and bougiest, but I really don't want to weave in extra ends, and it says she uses all 4 balls in its entirety, so I don't want to leave too many loose ends to weave in, because that could be the difference between me finishing a row or not. So as much as I would like to do every single dark purple on each of these, and then move to the light purple, and then move to the middle purple, and then to the light purple to finish it off in like one big massive gradient blanket, I don't think that's achievable. You can do it like this. Oh, it's like an airplane seat, you know? When you go on an airplane, you got the little... Okay, stop playing around with the yarn. But it basically just pulls like that. Not important. Not important to the video at all. It really isn't. But I have each of these, so I kind of gotta pop each of these, which I'll do beforehand. But granted, if you had just a normal ball, like I don't, a normal ball of Burnett blanket, you would not need to be... Ow, that hurt. Like, popped back at me. Popping your yarn. So we're going to take the little label off this guy. There we go. It's just that easy. Slips right off. And then hopefully... Oh, that one popped really easily. So I have them all popped. and prepped to the side. I got all my yarn and I got my hooks. Now, I will say, I have not watched this video. I'm currently only 2 minutes and 5 seconds into the video, and the video is 7 hours and 53 minutes. Not 7 hours! 7 minutes and 53 seconds. So I'm only 2 minutes into a 7-minute video. I've really only heard her talk about the pattern, as in, like, regards to the materials and stuff that you need, and, like, what colors she's using and stuff like that. So you haven't missed me watch much, but she said the only stitch you need to use for this is a single crochet stitch. That makes me wary that it is going to only take 4.5 hours, because usually when you're doing something in a time constricted span, you want to go with like the biggest stitch possible rather than the smallest stitch possible, at least in my mind. But her blanket looks really pretty. Hers is also solid color. It's not in bricked up purples. But I'm going to time myself, and I will check in with you guys at the hour marks. So when I hit 1 hour out of 4.5, I'll check in with you, and I'll show you the progress I've made. I'll tell you how I'm feeling about it. How I'm losing my voice. And then I will do that for all 4.5 hours. That is supposedly only going to take me. Maybe I'll finish it in less than that. Maybe I'll finish it right on the dot. Maybe it'll take me 6 weeks to finish. Only time can tell. But I don't know the tutorial on how she's stitching it. Like, I don't know if it's just straight chain and then just single stitch in each stitch. I don't think it is based on how it looked in the picture. So I'm going to have 2 separate timers for myself. I'm going to have a timer A, which is timing myself learning the pattern as well as completing the blanket. And then timer B, completing the blanket without the additional learning time. Because I feel like if I don't really know what she's doing, not every single crocheter will know what she's doing. Even in the other challenge I did for her, I didn't know what the stitch was that she was doing in that one either. So I'll have the 2 separate timers. Maybe the one will land on 4.5 hours, and maybe the second one will only land on 5.5 hours. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. I'm nervous. So I'm going to get myself a little stop clock. I'm going to start the pattern. It's starting off with a chain 75, so I think it's going to be like a twin-sized blanket, which is pretty much just like from my hands here to here. So, pretty small blanket. It's not the big blanket. If it was a big blanket, it would have took a lot more than just the 4 yarn balls. But I'm going to stop rambling here and stop waving my crochet hook around like I'm some little fairy queen or whatever. And I'll be back with the 1 hour check-in mark. I'm back. It's been 1 hour, a little bit more, a little bit less. Difference is a couple of seconds. 1, this is jib wrapper. 2, this is a comically large bag of stuffing off to the side here that you can see. But I have the yarn next to me. 1, I will say you can see the string thing a lot better now. You can't like pull it out, so it's kind of just unraveling around it. But it looks fun. You can just like fling it, but you can't really see it on camera. As you can see, all of the dark purple yarn is gone. This is what I'm working with. It's smaller in terms of chains than I thought, but this is still a twin size I'd consider. Like, it goes across my full persons. I don't know if I'm an average size person, but it goes across my full size persons. As you can see, this is annoying. I wish the color shift happened at the end of the row, so then it wasn't just like split dab in the center like that. But this is how far I got in the first hour. The top part here is row 10. This lower part is row 9, so I left off on row 10. Which, by the way, it only took me like 3 minutes to learn the stitch because it's not that hard. It is actually only single crochets. As you can see, it's just 3 single crochet stitches and 1 stitch, which is creating like a V stitch. If you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, I can't really help you further than that. But it's creating V stitches, which makes it look like this, which I love. And let me get it up close too so you guys can see it a little. Ooh, I have open drinks right there. A little bit better. It looks really nice though, especially on camera. Like, this looks beautiful. Kind of looks like it can just be a scarf right now at this point though, with just how small it is. But we'll get there. I could even like wrap it around my head. Just, oh, this is nice. a little baklava moment, but it looks like this currently. So only on row 10 in the first hour. It is supposed to be 70 rows. 70 rows, and it's been a full hour and I'm only on row 10. So if I keep up the pace I'm working at now, it looks like I'm only going to be 45 stitches done with the blanket, which is a little bit over half, but it's still missing the other half of it. But I'm going to keep going. This is the row check point for the first hour. We'll see how much I can get done in the next hour. Alright, back with the hour 2 update. This is currently what the ball of yarn looks like. But I'm this far in. As you can see, I'm on the 3rd shade of purple. And thankfully it did make it almost to the end of the row. As you can see, it was literally 1 stitch off from being the edge of the row. But it is still looking nice. It is much bigger than last time when I was just starting the purple. It's looking like this against me now. So it's pretty big. I'm currently, what row am I on? I gotta pull it up. I'm on row 20. So I can type that in because I'm keeping track. So I'm on 20 out of 70. So within hour 1 I made 10 total rows, and within hour 2 I made 10 total rows. So it's already looking like I'm going to fail this just based on that I'm probably only going to get another 30 and then 40 and then 5 additional rows done for the 4.5 hour timer. But it still looks pretty nice, pretty nice. I will say though, when this yarn ends out, I'm probably not going to time myself changing out the yarn, because I've been experimenting with like needle felting edges together with the ear warmers. I've been liking that. So I'm going to see if blanket yarn will like work for that. If you don't know what needle felting is, you pretty much just take a little styrofoam block and a needle felting tool, which is basically a little metal pipe, but it is very sharp. You can cut yourself on these. And you basically just put the yarn here and you stab it repeatedly until it sticks to the other strand. And it does work with fleece and wool, which is what I've been doing for the earwarmers. But I don't know if it's going to work with blanket yarn, so I'm not going to time myself trying to connect the two, because it does take a few minutes up on the timer. And also just because I have no idea if it's going to even work. They use a different changing method to add on the yarn via like a knot method. I don't personally trust knot methods just because I'm not good at doing knot methods. So if I don't feel happy and confident, I'm just not going to do it, because then I risk breaking, and I don't want that to happen because I am planning on selling this afterwards. But the 2-hour timer has been finished. I will check back with you at the 3-hour timer with the new ball attached. So I'm not loving this lighting right now. I'm just going to call that out right now. I can't control that. It's kind of just the way my ceiling light is working right now. This is why I film in the mornings when the lighting looks the best, because now it just looks like hot garbage. But we're on... Oh, please don't pull. That could have gone bad. We're on hour 3, couple seconds over, didn't realize. But it is now halfway completed. Ooh, can you even see it all? There we go. It's now halfway finished. It's so hard to get it all in shot. As you can see, I moved through all the dark purple and I'm on medium purple again. This is what my second one's currently looking like. I think I miscounted a couple rows like the first 2 hours, because I don't know how I ended up with 5 extra rows this hour. I think I had like a row and a half done extra and I just miscounted the rows I was on. But we're currently at 35, so 3 hours in, and it's at its halfway mark, which I still don't think we're supposed to be at, considering it's hour 3. I'm only supposed to have an hour and a half left to go for this to reach 70 rows, and I'm only on 35. So it's still not looking hopeful, but it is looking much better. Like slightly optimistic now. I didn't realize like how far into it I was. So I'll meet you back here at hour 4. Obviously, by my attire, it is a different day. My hair looks awful today, so it's back up in its usual bun. This is my comically large bag of stuffing again, and this is my blanket. Now I will say I kind of, ran out of yarn on the second ball, so the second ball is completely gone. I'm actually 5 minutes shy of my 1 hour timer, but I figure it's only 5 minutes. Why attach another ball of yarn for 5 minutes? I'd rather just show you now and then do 35 minutes. So this is what it's looking like. I gotta go really far back. There we go, from top to bottom. I didn't count the rows. I lost track. It's somewhere in its 40s right now. Not entirely sure. It's too long to count, honestly, with the camera on. So I will do a final total count after the last 35 minutes. I don't get an extra hour. It said 4.5 hours. And I'm assuming 0.5 is supposed to signify 30 minutes? Not entirely sure. So I only get 30 minutes still to finish this, but like I said, I'm shy of 5 minutes, so I get 35 extra minutes, technically, extra, if you count that. But it's looking pretty great so far. I actually like it. It's really thick, too, since it's blanket yarn, so it's going to make a really nice blanket. But I don't think we're making it, Chief. Like, it's still pretty far, don't get me wrong. Like, from here down, it's pretty far. But I'm definitely not making it in the 4.5 hour timer. That stinks, but I kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to work. I got a little optimistic seeing I was only halfway done. But yeah, I don't think the blanket challenges are for me. But I still think it's pretty fun. I still have 35 minutes to pretend like I can finish 30 plus rows of yarn on this blanket. Because, I mean, I still have 2 more of these to go. So, like, I'm definitely not making it, but, like, we can pretend like we can. Like, I can pretend I'll get these 2 balls both done within 35 minutes to finish this in order to beat the challenge, but it's looking like that's not gonna happen. But I'll be back after 35 more minutes of this. I'm back. Hair's different, outfit's different, took a shower, so it's looking alright. This, by the way, is a present for a friend, and she'll get this by the time this video's up, so I'm not spoiling anything. It's a giant Genshin cat from some, whatever this site is, plush shop that she's been obsessed with, so that's what that is back there. And I've got the blanket right here. Okay, please don't pull and unravel the progress I made. Great song. I forgot to count the rows again. We'll do it real fast. I'll do it real fast, but looking like it's not even going to be all the way in shot at this point. I can't see anything. So there's the bottom. And then it comes all the way up here. So it's pretty far along, I'd say, considering maybe if I go sideways. Yeah, so this is obviously the height, but from here you can see more so how big it is compared to how long it is. It's about this big now, so it's coming out pretty well. I'm gonna count the rows since I'm an idiot and forgot to, so hold on a second. Okay, counted the rows. So I'm actually not that far off, but I'm definitely not at the end goal. I am at row 54 out of 70, which means I only had 16 more rows to go before it would have been finished. So I'm actually not that far off what I thought I was going to be. I also used all of the dark purple, basically, so I'm only on the medium purple and the light purple now. But I'm going to continue this, but this challenge is technically failed. Like, I didn't make it in the 4.5 hours that the lady said that I could. I did get fairly close, though, so I'm not mad at it. The last time I did the blanket challenge, like I said, I wasn't going to mention it, but I feel like this is so successful compared to I will mention it. I had gotten it, and I started it on New Year's, like, of, like, a couple, like, last year, not last year, but, like, 2022 last year. And I started it then, because I was like, oh, how fun would it be? And then, like, I'd have a blanket for New Year's. Didn't finish in a New Year's. It said that you can make that blanket within 6 hours, and it took me double the time. It took me, like, a little bit over 12 hours to finish. But for this claiming to only take 4.5 hours, and I'm I'm so close to being done at the end of the 4.5 hours, I'm pretty hopeful. So even if this takes me an additional hour and a half, it's still under what it took me the first time. It's still under half of what I spent last time doing. So I think this is pretty successful. Ooh. It does look nice. If I were to put it like all the way at my feet and then have it lift up, it kind of ends like mid-thigh for me because I'm kind of tall. I'm 5'7", so I feel like I'm not that tall because I'm not that tall. But it's nice for what it is. I've technically failed, although I would be more of a failure if I left this video as this. So I am going to continue this off camera in hour increments, and I'll just show you guys hour increments because I feel like it's fun, but it's only going to be a quick 10-second thing of just an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, however long it takes me to continue this blanket, although I think I might only need another hour or two, maybe. I'm pretty far back. I can explain. But I've gotten pretty far on the blanket. It's currently been an hour after, so I'm on 5.5 hours currently. I ran out of the third ball, and I ran out of it right on the start of the 69th row. So this is the majority of the 68th row, which I can't like pull it full up because it's over my feet. Because I have my feet all the way laid out. So assuming I wanted the blanket to be a little bit past my feet, which personally I do with blankets, it only comes up to right here at the edge of the camera with my feet all the way laid out. Or if I were to be laying down, it like just barely like hits my stomach line. So it's not very great. And to be fair though, it did say she used 4 balls of burlap blanket. But she only did 70 rows? I don't know, maybe there's like a gauge difference. Maybe my stitches are just tighter because I usually do tend to have a tight hand. So I think I'm just going to use this yarn anyways. But currently, you're not going to get it in frame that way, so we're going to go this way. It is this big, which I guess is like a good like child-sized blanket, but I wanted an adult-sized blanket. That's what it showed in the picture. That's what I was promised in the YouTube video. It was fitting her, and she was a full-grown adult. So I'm thinking gauge is just a problem with me, because this is really only going to elongate it. And based on the rows that it is, if I were to have this just a little bit past my feet, it would like go from here, which is where the blanket's ending to me, for the purple to be here. I have a measuring tape. We'll measure how long this is to see. So it is about 14 inches. So if I were to go 14 inches more, which is what the 4th ball would produce, it would end right at my shoulder. So that's the exact perfect size. But as for time challenges, it still stinks. So I take it back. I don't think I'm going to come back every hour. I think since it's just one last ball that I'm going to do, and I'm doing it just like off camera, because if I did the last 69th and then the 70th row, this technically would be done in under 6 hours. It would probably only take me about 5 hours and 15 minutes, 5 hours, 20 minutes, around there, which is still pretty close to the original timer. But I am planning on selling this most likely, so I would like it to be a full-sized, like, twin blanket for an adult, because, let's face it, it's no child purchasing this, so if you are purchasing it, I would like it to be of a fitting matter, and I'm 5'7" for reference, so if it's fitting from my toes, like, flattened out to my shoulders, that's a pretty good sized blanket, and you can see just from where my shoulders are, it is pretty long on this side as well, so it is a full blanket that you could sleep with. I could stop it here and make it be like a children's blanket because it's not going to fit a teenager, but I would like it to be the full-sized one that I was promised, and also because I have no other use for this 4th random ball of the purple violet color, so I'm just going to do that off camera. I'll be back with the finished blanket with an additional row count. So I'll have a new row count, a new timer, and then I will basically just blabber my head off. So after then. Okay. Sorry for future Jasmine there. I'm filming this part, even though I know I'm going to need to film a future part, so I'm just casually mentioning that. But hi, my name is Jasmine. I run the Crochettery here, and as you can tell by the title, I'm still obsessed with ear warmers. It's a problem. It's a big problem. So I made my first ear warmer during one of the Yarn Miss days. I got like a ball of Serenity yarn from Premier's, and I basically just turned it into a bunch of ear warmers. And ever since then, I've just liked making them because I was using my own pattern for it, so it was quick, it was easy, and it's just a cute like gift slash market item which you can crochet, and it's not made via knitting machine, which I have a knitting machine, but I'm awful at using a knitting machine, and I think it's honestly going to be a video of me failing to use a knitting machine coming at some point in the future. But I have a ton of yarn here because, like I said, they were quick, so I know I'm going to need a lot of it. So I'm going to try to speed roll all of the colors out. And I will say that even though I am doing this for a full day, I'm going to give myself kind of like a couple negative hours, only because I do have to go to physical therapy today. Chronic pain, am I right? But I have to go there today, and that's usually like a couple hours, like like a good hour, which is like I could have made an entire ear warmer in that hour. So I'm gonna give myself a little bit of wiggle room on today, only because it's not a full day where I could have woke up and just like went straight to work. I did have plans today, but I do want to film this today, so this can go up for you guys. So I'm gonna give myself that teeny tiny little wiggle room, but I will say which ear warmer was my little wiggle room. But all of the yarn. Let's start. The only random ball I had is this Wool Ease Thick and Quick. I don't know what size it is because it doesn't really say, but it looks about the same thickness that I've been using. It's just a random ball I had that I was gifted one year, so if I can use this up, I gladly will. Now let me move that to the side. Oh, I have a finished ear warmer right here. This is what they look like for reference. Just a little toe front, you know. That's what they look like for reference. But I have a mixture of Serenity yarns and loops and threads aside from the one random ball. So we'll start with Serenity. This is a Walmart. I bought it at Walmart on sale. Well, my friend bought it on Walmart and then gifted it to me. But this is Serenity in the color Wine, which is like a burgundy. And then I've got plain colored Serenities in the color Walnut, Royal Blue, Lilac, lilac chiffon. You'd think that would be a purple. Lilac chiffon, and then in the color Fog, but I will be using this one for a tutorial because, like I said, I'm using my own ear warmer pattern. I'd like to make a video for you guys so you guys can make them yourself too. So I'm going to put this one to the side so I don't use it, just because I want to use that one for filming because I feel like it's a light gray. It's easy to see on camera. But there's the 3 plain colors from Serenity. We have the Serenity colors, which are kind of like mushed a little bit, you can call it. This one's in the color Eclipse, and this one is in the color, what is that? In the color Clarence. So this one's a red tweed, and this one's a blue tweed. And that's all of the Serenity yarn I have. Now I got all my loops and thread yarn, which, if you've seen my Michael's haul, these all will look familiar to you. But I still don't know where they name their colors. It's such a weird placement. We've got Pink Crepe here, Autumn Sunset, Apple Spice, and wrong spot again, Lavender Fields for the first 4 that I can show you. They're all like multicolored. This one in the color Sand Art. This one's in the color Weathered Stones. And this one is in the color Spruce, except I already started to make one out of this the other day. So there's those 2. And this one's a label because I kept it just to show you guys. But I got this far in it so far, so not that actual far, but far enough. I do have a custom order for a purple one, so this is the purple one I started, which I had the label right here, but it's kind of like piled under yarn now, or it fell onto the floor. I'm unclear. Oh no, it's right here, I believe. Yes. This is just in the color Grape Jam. This one's a size 6 bulky. They're normally size 5 bulkies. So I'm testing that out, and it's looking pretty decently. I just downsized the hook, and it's still looking pretty good. And the last one I have is this one, which is like a gradient type thing, and it's called Dragonfly Multiply. but it kind of it's giving off like Beetlejuice vibes with like the green and the purples and the blacks. So that's why I picked out this one. So in total, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and I used one of these before, and I think I made like 5 of them, so about 20 minimum possible ear warmers that I can make within today's day span. So I'm a little bit nervous. I'm going to start by finishing off my purple custom order one, because I have to finish this. It was an order. And then this one, which is already started, so I might as well just finish that one. And then I will come back when I have a little bit of an update after I've gone through a couple of balls. I'm not sure how I'm going to film like throughout the day. Maybe I'll come back not after like each ear warmer, because I think they only take me like 45 minutes to make, so that would be a lot of like very harsh jump cuts. I think I'm gonna come back after every few hours and just give you a quick little update of like, I made this many so far, I made this many so far, and show you what I did rather than just like the quick jumps. So I'm going to work on the purple one before I have to go ahead to physical therapy, and then I will come back here afterwards. We're back. Final time. The blanket is finished. I did use up all 4 of the balls, so we're starting here, and then it goes all the way to here. So it's pretty long. There's no way I'm getting the whole thing in shot. From here to here, it goes about this length across, which I wish it did go across a little bit more. This is the end that I still need to weave in, so ignore that. Didn't do that part yet. But that is the entire blanket across. It did take me, I want to say, another 2-ish hours to do the last bit of it, because I was just sitting straight and doing it, and I was like man-hulking it, trying to finish it the best that I could. But this is the entire blanket that the video had told me it would only take 4.5 hours to make. It more so took me 6-ish hours, which is still fairly good for a blanket. But it did take longer than it said, at least for me personally. I think the actual like gauge itself could have been bigger on my end. So I guess if I were to try this again, I would use an even bigger hook than the 12mm I used, which would probably provide me with a much bigger blanket. I would also prefer to go more wide compared to long, because it is fairly long, like if it's a full body length. But just the like width of it, it ends like right here. I wish it was just a little bit longer, just like not longer, but like bigger width wise, just so it felt more comfortable. Because you know when you get like the little small throw blankets, it's like an inch of you hanging out from the other end because the blanket's just not big enough to support you. Yeah, that's this thing right here. I think the 3-tone purple actually came out a lot better in its like sectional grids than I thought it did, which I will give it that. It looks really nice, and it feels really nice because it's blanket yarn, so it's very thick, so it will keep you warm. I just wish it was a little bit bigger, but that's me personally. It does look pretty darn tootin' though, and I am wearing purple, so I kind of match it, even though these are all different colored purples. So for the video itself, I will like I'll either link or pin a comment down below for the exact video I was following in case you guys want to go into it for some reason, see how long it takes you to do and compared it to me to do. Like I said, she does have other versions of this, but there are just versions of this in general where it's like, quick baby blanket you can make in 2 hours, where I'm just like, does it actually take 2 hours to make that, or are you just clickbaiting us? This is plausible. I could see how this is plausible. And even if it did just say 6-hour blanket in general, this is a great blanket to make in just 6 hours. If you're doing like a holiday rush of some sort, you're trying to make it for somebody last minute for their birthday or something, for some event, or if you just want a nice thick blanket that you can be proud of, this is that. I would say this looks really nice. It looks better than the other one that I had made previously, but I didn't do that video on camera. I did time myself doing it, but I am a little bit quicker now, so if you guys would like to see me do this again with her version of a make the blanket in 6 hours, I'd like to do that. Like I said, there's other versions in general where it's just like, make it in 3-hour baby blanket, quick and easy 1-hour baby blanket, quick and easy 1 hour, I don't know, octopus. Not even just blankets in general, although I do like splurging and making blankets from time to time. I probably shouldn't because I've got about 4 unfinished blankets in my room right about now. This is the second blanket I've ever completed. Ooh, at least adult size blankets. I've made one baby blanket, which I'm looking at off camera right there because it's not finished yet. Also, my hair. She's in need of a haircut badly. Ignore that little piece sticking up. But this will be in my up and coming Etsy shop. So if you're really liking this and you're just a little bit curious more about the full length of it, I'll have that in the products description for this blanket. I don't know how much I'm going to list it for exactly just yet because I'm trying to like work around the Etsy fees in my head, like try to make it so, I'm still earning money myself. So I'm not sure what it's going to cost yet, but this will be in my future upcoming Etsy shop. It's going to be open sometime between the end of this month and beginning of next month, I'm hoping. So if you really like the blanket, you can get your hands on this exact one. If you really just want a crochet blanket in general and you're willing to pay a bit extra, because I got this yarn on sale, so it was pretty cheap of a steal for me, and you're willing to pay the extra to get a version of this, maybe I'll put like a made-to-order version up where you can ask like certain colors to be made with it, and I'll do that, and that would be like another fun version of the video, trying it again, even though I don't think I'm going to get shorter than 6 hours, but 6 hours is fairly great for a blanket. Like I said, the only blanket that I've also finished is another version of this one, and it took me like 12-13 hours to do, which I obviously didn't do in one sitting either, so like in reality took me days to do, but overall 6 to 10, not 6 hours, took 12 to 13 hours. This one only took 6, so that's a pretty great steal. But that's all I got for this weekend. This video is going up today for me because it is Friday now and I've postponed it. I'm not sure which video I'm doing it next week, only because I have a few ideas of what's coming out. So I don't know which one's coming out. But I will say the next 3 videos I have lined up is going to be, obviously, I'm not going to count this one because this one's kind of just like, you're going to see this one. But I do have a redecorating my room, like my office room type situation, which is going to come out soon because it is very terrible. It's going to look great by the end of it, I'm sure, but like currently it does not look good. It don't look good. I have an earwarmer tutorial coming out for my crochet girlies like myself. The earwarmer I've been making all holidays, really. It's just, I should have done it beforehand, but I've got a ball of yarn. I'm finally going to make a little mini beginner tutorial for that. I bought enough of the earwarmer yarn to make a video of everything I can make in a day for. And if you're watching this, I didn't forget your comment. Someone did commented on one of my previous videos to try and see how many pink things I can make within a day. So I'm getting yarn for that. I've got a couple loose balls of pink here and there, and I'm trying to work out what I'll be making in the process of that. But that one is coming eventually too, within the next couple months. Probably a random everything I've made in a week or month video is going to be in there somewhere. Also more random videos most likely. But if you have any more comments, I'm always listening. I'm open for suggestions. Like I said, if you want to see any video in general, not even just more blanket stuff, let me know down in the comments below because I am reading them. But I'll see you guys next week with whatever next week might be.